Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy payday. Happy October 5th. October is going to be a killer month. Is there anyone else just extremely excited for October? So many cool things happening right now. Promotions from the company, Next Lifestyle Getaway introduced, a new product this month, Vegas in 2 weeks. Exciting times. And then, of course, it is Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. Not just because we get paid with our paychecks, but because of this Zoom that amazing leaders get on every single week and share their stories and their tips with us. And it's just become like my favorite Zoom of the week because I always get so motivated and extremely excited to hear from people that we probably wouldn't normally get to hear from because there's so many awesome leaders in this company. And that's the reason I wanted to create this Zoom 4 years ago, because I want people to hear from everybody, what they're doing, pick their brains. And you know that saying, follow the leader, and um, leadership definitely leaves clues, success leaves clues. And this Zoom is such a great way to be able to get those success clues from some awesome leaders. And today, no exception. I am so excited to be interviewing Lynn Liu, who I cannot wait to hear her story and her tips today. And Lynn, I just want to thank you, first of all, for taking the time out of your day to do this for us. And I want to start with your story as far as kind of let us into your world, what that looked like before you joined network marketing, and, how you found Lavelle. And then we can kind of go from that point.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay?
I can. You're
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for having me on. This actually is my favorite Zoom ever since I started too. Every single time I hop on, I leave inspired. And honestly, it's such, oh gosh, I'm so grateful to be here to share my story today. I was like, how am I going to prepare for something like this? I'm someone who is not comfortable in front of the camera. And ever since I started, I just, so I was like, how do you prepare for this? And then, chill, expand, a box of tissue, water. Okay, here we go. Okay, so my name is Lynn. If you don't know me, I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Mom of two. My oldest daughter is 14. My younger one is 6. And I am going to take you back a little bit. I've shared my story, like little bits of it here and there, because like time has been so limited. But my journey to get here today is wow, it's been a roller coaster, super emotional. That's why I say, take out the tissue paper. But so who I was before Thrive. I'm going to take you guys back to how I grew up. So my family, we're in the restaurant industry. We've been in the restaurant industry for over 25 years, so just about 30 years. And honestly, I grew up with my parents saying that you are not successful unless you open a business. So that has been my entire life. My entire life was, how am I going to make my parents proud of me? How am I, my definition of success is to open a business. So I started the business journey in 2007, I believe, when my first daughter was born, and opened an online store, an online boutique. At the same time, opened a tanning salon. So dumped a bunch of money in there, did those 2 businesses. And, we were just starting out. But in 2009, my ex-husband and we ended up separating. So we separated because I was leaving a extremely toxic relationship. And when my daughter was born, I made the decision that I didn't want to live that life anymore. So leaving everything behind, I picked up my daughter with whatever we can fit into our car. moved back to my apartment that I purchased when I was 19. I moved back there, and now being a single mom for the first time, not knowing where my future was going to be, or everything was so uncertain. Me being as stubborn as I am, I did not go home and tell my family what was going on. I decided one day that, okay, you know what, I'm going to take my apartment that I've had for so long. The only thing that I had for myself outside of the marriage, I was going to sell it. So I was going to sell it, and I was going to take this money and I was going to open this nail salon, a dream of mine. And then I was going to become this crazy successful person and become rich, and that was going to be my story. It didn't work that way. So I opened the salon, such a beautiful place. I loved everything about the business. I even in 2011 was nominated for Young Entrepreneur of the Year in my city. And everything was so great, like on the outside of how it looked like. But having your own salon and having your own business, if you guys don't know, you have to put in the time. And putting in the time meant I was working 14, 16 hours a day. In the summertime, I slept at my salon. I slept on the couch because I would work late, and then in the morning there was like a bridal party, so I had to wake up early, and everything seemed great. I was making money, and this was my dream. Everything changed one day when I picked up my daughter, and because I was trading in my time for money, my daughter, you guys, was the last one every single day to be picked up from daycare. Sometimes I would forget to pick her up. The principal would be waiting outside with his briefcase, and straight from the babysitters, she would go straight from daycare. She'd go straight to the babysitters, and then sometimes she would have to stay there. And if I did pick her up, it would be late shoot or be sleeping, and we'd do this over and over again. So we did this for a couple of years, but what changed was one day she came home and she referred to her babysitters as mom and dad. That broke my heart. I was like, how am I doing this? Her dad's not around, and now she now, like, I'm working and I'm putting in the time thinking I'm doing this for her, but she never saw me. So that was when I decided, I was like, there has to be another way. There has to be something better. I need to do something else. I decided to shut my doors. Okay. All the money that I put in from selling my apartment, which was over $300,000, you guys, I was willing to leave that all because my daughter needed her mom. And we did it. We left. I left. And something you guys don't know, but if you don't manage a business properly, money goes in and out, and mostly out. And if you don't know how to manage your money, guess what? I lost everything and more. Like I left broke, but I knew that at least my daughter had me. So then I had to make the call. I had to call my mom and dad and tell them what was going on, telling them that I didn't have money to pay for rent, and I didn't know how I was going to take care of my daughter. So my dad, in tears, the first time I've ever seen this man cry, he said, okay, I'm going to go get you guys an apartment and everything's going to be okay. So I'm going to go back to the restaurant and work, and we'll just figure it out. So sorry. So we moved into this apartment, and it's like a fresh start. At least I was getting ready, and I knew that in kindergarten, she was starting kindergarten, that I could drive her to school and pick her up, because that was my dream. That's all I wanted growing up, to drive her to school and pick her up. So I said, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice this all, go back to the $15 that my parents was paying me, which they've been paying me this, they were paying me the same for 20 years, $15 over 20 years. I never got a raise. So I went back to that. And a week before school started, I met my now husband. So this man comes out of nowhere. He basically took on the role of being my husband, and he, as he always says, like unpacking my luggage, but he says like I had a U-Haul. He's like, you had a U-Haul of stuff. I had to unpack your U-Haul, then you had a storage unit and your luggage. He meant from all of the emotional baggage that I had for all these years, you know. So 2 years later, we get married, we had my daughter, and then we were just scraping by. My you know, we're playing catch up with all the debt that I had that had accumulated over the years, and yeah, we're just getting by. And then we moved into his place, and you know, the four of us just lived like that. And I can't say I was content, but it was better than the situation that I was in. I didn't have to worry about food. I didn't have to worry about where I was going to live. So where this Thrive journey starts is in 2017, we found out we were pregnant again with my third daughter. And again, we're like, how the hell are we going to do this? Our place is so small. Where is everyone going to stay? It's a 2-bedroom, small little place. And I was like, you know what? We're just going to figure it out. That summer, we found out, we're like, oh gosh, I'm going to have another girl. I'm a girl mom. That's all I know. Like I always say to everyone, like the universe did not give me a boy because there's no Thrive DFT that can help me because I just cannot deal with boys. So the universe gave me girls. But in at my 5-month scan, we found out that she had a rare disorder, something I've never even heard of before. And the next month, it was August, you know, went to go see doctors. Like, is this something that we could, is this something that, you know, like I wasn't even sure. I was so numb at the time. And the doctor said, you know, you can try to carry on the pregnancy. However, the risks of you getting sick as well is very high. So we had to make the decision of ending the pregnancy 6 months into my pregnancy. So I want to tell you guys, that's, if anybody's ever lost a child, that's probably the most traumatic thing that you can ever go through. And yeah, this is how I found Thrive, because we delivered the baby in September, and it was mid-September, and I was having insomnia. Like, that's normal. I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't get out of bed, but I had my phone. So I was scrolling Instagram, and guess who I found, you guys? I found Twin. I found this picture of Twin in this lace dress, and why it resonated with me so much was because I had a dress similar to that one. And I think that she was like maybe a month or two into Thrive, and I saw the transformation. It must have been Tuesday, you guys, because I saw a transformation picture, and I was like, okay, I need to go back out into the world. But I don't want to look pregnant anymore, because I still looked pregnant. I still had the weight gain. I was like, I need to lose this quickly so I can just forget about the nightmare that just happened. And so I didn't want Twin to know. And I did not order from her. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to order from her because she's going to tell the whole world I'm thriving. So I went onto the Laval site and I purchased, I told my husband about it, and he's like, okay, purchase a pack for me too. Let's do this together. So then, you know, Thrive wasn't available in Canada yet. So went on the site, did the US thing. It was super duper expensive. I can't even remember, over a couples pack was over like 500 USD or something, like something crazy. The package comes in like a week's time. And then it's funny because I have zero network marketing experience. I did not know that this company was like, like a multi-level marketing company. I knew nothing except this person who I bought from, I think it was Wisconsin or something. She started texting me saying that she was my promoter. I was like, excuse me, like, she kept saying, how are you doing? Like, what is this girl doing? Stop messaging me. I seriously, I want to find out who this person is and apologize now, but I was like, stop messaging me. I can read instructions. I don't need you to tell me how to thrive. But guess what? 3 weeks in, we did not thrive correctly. There'd be days where I'm like, hey, ask my husband, hey, you forgot your DFT, like your patch. And he'd be like, oh shit, it would be like 5 p.m. He'd slap it on. And then for 3 weeks, we tried it, didn't do it properly, whatever it was. And then obviously it didn't work, right? So we decided, it's like, oh my gosh, this is such a huge scam. Oh my gosh, like that was such a waste of money. We already didn't have this money. We put it on a credit card and oh my gosh, I can't believe that this was such a waste of money. Anyways, totally forgot about Thrive, kept seeing it all over the place still. And then I think it was the end of September-ish, I enrolled my youngest daughter into daycare. Funny thing is, right when I arrived to school that day, I recognized someone. So it was a friend of mine, and his daughter was also going to the same school. And this is so I think it was like a week in taking her to school and whatnot. I guess who I met, you guys. I met Jackie. So Jackie was actually with he was her ex spouse. So that's how I met Jackie. And we started talking. Our kids were in the same class. We noticed that our kids always played together, and we were like, hey, let's, like, after we drop off the kids, let's go for coffee. Both of her and I were huge coffee drinkers. And if you've heard her story, she'll tell you about her drink. And it's very interesting because she used to get a cup of ice and like 3 shots of something. And then she used to shove cinnamon in it and all this stuff in it. I've never seen anyone drink coffee like that. But my coffee of choice was 3 ventes a day, you guys. 3 ventes a day. I'm not even joking. So I was peeing all day from not water, but coffee. So that was our life. We would meet up a couple times a week. And then the following year came, and then and we talked about Thrive. And Jackie also told me she tried it. She also told me it didn't work. We're like, cool. That was that. Guess one day she's like at coffee, she's like, hey, Lynn, guess what? I'm going to try Thrive again. I'm like, are you serious? Like, you're going to try it? She's like, yeah, I'm going to try it. This new burn patch came out and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, you do that. I spent like freaking $500. If you want to do that, you go do that. Right. So she goes, does her thing. And then for the next couple of weeks, this is someone I see every day. Okay, you guys. As you guys know, and as you've heard, Jackie was an introvert. And what that meant was most of the time when we went for coffee, I was the only one talking. Okay. And I was always the one talking, and she was kind of like drank coffee, knew she wanted to be my friend, but like didn't talk to me much. And then the big change for me was not only did she have a physical change, she had this crazy transformation in like 5 days that she posted. She started talking to me. But she stopped drinking coffee. She's drinking water, but she started talking to me. I was like, whoa, shit, this girl's like smiling. She's talking to me. Like there's something that's in these products. So I was like, I the following week, I was like, okay, Jackie, I want to try it, but I can't buy it. How in the world am I going to go back to my husband and be like, remember that scam that we spent $500 on? Well, I want to try it again. I was like, I don't think I can do that. Right. So and then Jackie's like, hey, you know what? Do you still have the 2 weeks that when you guys stopped, right? I was like, I think so. So I went home, ran into the cupboard, and I saw that, oh my gosh, I still have 2 weeks, but it was just the regular DFT. I was like, okay, you got to hook me up with some burn patches because I'm going to do these next 2 weeks and we're going to see what happens, right? So then, just like, oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing. I was at the gym. I was like, you got to meet me right now. Give me the burn patches and then, let's go, right? The second time around, you guys, doing it properly, because Jackie was really, really specific on how to take it, how we all know now how to take it. I was a day one thriver. I felt the energy instantly. I stopped drinking coffee, and that was that. That was the beginning of me getting back onto Thrive. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Okay. So right after, now that, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm feeling the energy. I'm not drinking coffee anymore. Like, what am I going to do? Because I have to order this stuff now. Right. So I went home and I was deciding whether or not I should tell my husband I was going to order it. I didn't. I took his credit card. What you're not supposed to do is non-compliant, you guys. I took his credit card, ordered a pack for myself, and like the rest is history. Because I have so much like business experience. Something else that you guys don't know. From 2007 till today, I have 10 businesses down. I've opened and closed 10 businesses since then. So seeing the vision right away, I saw it right away. Let's see, what happened after. Okay, so because I had, Jackie says that I was coachable, but I wasn't. I was extremely not coachable because I thought, because I have so much experience in business, that I'm going to recreate the wheel. I'm going to do everything else that you guys are not doing. I will not go on social media and I will succeed in this business. So I spent a year like just juggling my thoughts with myself. Okay. I was like, okay, should I go back to doing a regular business? I don't know what this network marketing is about. What should I do, right? So in January, rank advancements came, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just keep sharing the products just like I have been. And we went 4K, and Jackie said to me in, I think, December, that she was going to go to Thrive Palooza. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to buy my ticket to Thrive Palooza. I see the vision, but I don't quite believe in it yet. I'm going to buy my ticket, go, and then we'll see what happens. So get the 4K rank advancement. Oh, yes. Oh, and by the way, I bought a VIP ticket too. Okay. So I go to Thrive Palooza, but the journey to Thrive Palooza is really funny, you guys, because couple of days before the trip, my husband, who was supposed to be my buffer because I was so nervous and going and not knowing anyone, he gets a gout attack. Okay, so he suffered from gout for many years. If you guys don't know what gout is I say it's a self-inflicted illness, meaning you create your pain. Okay, because there's a bunch of shit that you're not supposed to eat or drink, and if you do it anyways, you get pain. So before we left, of course, he has this crazy gout attack. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Got to take the guy anyways. He's my buffer. He's going to be fine. Go to the airport. I'm wheeling this guy in a wheelchair through the airport, through the Dallas airport. Like, I was like, holy shit. Okay. Get to the hotel room. Oh, by the way, for someone who doesn't have money, I upgraded my seats because I was like, I already saw the vision. Okay. I upgraded my flight. I got a really crazy hotel right across from the convention center. And then I plopped the guy down and he stayed there the entire time for 3 days. Okay. Go to Thrive Palooza. And this is the craziest thing ever, because still, I don't believe, you guys. I went to Thrive Palooza. I didn't believe. Sat down in front row. Okay. Like I was some kind of boss, right? Front row. And Maria Dillard, you guys, was like she's my idol, by the way. She was like 2 or 3 seats behind me, and I was like, holy shit. that trip, you guys, that Thrive-Palooza trip changed everything for me. I, even in the back of my book that I wrote there, and I was only not only a 4K, but I was a 4K, and I wrote on there, when I return the next year, I will be an 80K. Came back, caught the vision. I came back on like, I had a fire lit up my butt so bad that we went 12K the following month in 1 month. So from we were at 12K actually for a year before 2020. So 2020 was when the pandemic hit, and there was no Thrive-Palooza, as you guys remember, any of that. But we went 40K in, I believe it was May or June. And then during the pandemic, we went 80K in the end of August. So our team went, we went 80K within a few months of being 40K. Am I forgetting anything, Lisa?
No, but I'm telling you what, you weren't lying about the Kleenex. I just so happened that my dog got a hold of a roll of toilet paper and it's sitting next to my bed. And I'm like, oh my God. Because those of you guys that know me, you know, I don't get emotional. Like, people are always like, what is wrong with you? Everybody else is crying and you're not. I was crying. Your story is just so touching and relatable. And, you know, I was just like, so many things you talked about, it related to my life too. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But, you know, it's so nuts that you are like the perfect example of like, don't give up on someone, because you totally were like not into it. You didn't think Thrive worked. And it took somebody else to go, okay, this is working for me. Like, it was just that moment that happened for you. And then you came in doing what so many other people do that have owned businesses before or been with other network marketing companies. They want to reinvent the wheel. They think, I know my way. I'm going to do it the way I want. You know, I know what I'm doing. Trust me. And then it does slow their growth because they're just not open to doing it someone else's way. And it's like that, you know, it's that boss babe personality. Like, we think we got this, you know, we know what we're doing. We've done it before. And then I think the coolest part of your story is getting to Palooza. Oh my God, I was cracking up about your husband, wheeling your husband around. I can see you being like, you are not getting out of this. I don't care if you're on your deathbed. But getting to Palooza, like, that is why we stress so much. And it doesn't even have to be Palooza. It could be, you know, like Chas and I are traveling this weekend to a training in Minnesota. Like, get around thrivers, like-minded people. Get in a room full of people with vision and drive and goals and dreams that are doing the same thing as you. And it can totally change everything. Like, you can leave and be on fire. And what was it? Like, do you feel like getting to Palooza, what was it exactly that made you be like, oh my God, I'm gonna go, like, I'm on fire. I'm gonna go do this thing.
Well, for the longest time, because I've been used to like your traditional business. When we were doing this cloud-based business, for me, because I'm old school, I turned 40 this year. I don't know all of that new school stuff. So for me, I was like, this cloud-based business, are you for real? Like, I didn't see people in real life. I saw people who were thriving, but we all logged onto this thing. And for me, it didn't seem real. It didn't seem like these people were real. All these people we were listening to, like, you know, actually saw you too, Lisa, and I was too chicken to say hi, but you know, everybody was now real to me, and now you're seeing like real success. But the funny thing is, you know how I wrote on the book there that I am 80K, 2 years later, so the Thrive-Palooza that just passed, where we were not supposed to leave the country, oh my gosh, me, Lena, and a couple of other girls, our journey to Thrive-Palooza this year was a really, really crazy experience, but we got ourselves there. And I brought my book, you guys, and I opened it up, and guess who was 80K by the time she got there, even though it was a year late. So get yourself to Thrive-Palooza. what really did it for me was just seeing all of those people on on stage and hearing. I heard a lot of their stories already, and just seeing the success of everyone, and just seeing what the possibilities are, could be. And I think that's what helped me catch the vision and change my mind about everything.
So when you said before, kind of like you wanted to do it your way, and then you kind of were reinventing the wheel, what did you start to do differently that you think turned it all around? Like started to really get your business going?
Oh, I took my head out of my butt, and then I decided to just do what everyone else was doing. That was successful. Like, I started to copy the right cats, and I just, had to be honest with myself. Whatever I was doing was not helping me grow. And then I started to follow some people who really inspired me. Of course, like one of my best friends, Jackie. I would just keep watching her. I'm like, how did this girl go from an introvert, not talking, and now being this crazy confident person, that inspired me so much. So watching her every day, following some leaders, like you guys heard Ashley last week, and then there's Lena and Twin, and a bunch of people, just following them and watching what they were doing, and kind of doing what they were doing, and just keeping it simple, and everything that I thought about reinventing the wheel and doing things my way, just threw it in the trash.
So did you basically, and it's so funny that you say like Jackie was an introvert, because I just think Jackie's so outgoing and everything. It's so crazy how this business can totally change you and give you that confidence that you maybe never had. Like, it's just so cool to watch people transform. And that, I mean, that's my favorite part of this business, is watching somebody come in that is shy and doesn't think they can do this, and then they turn into this like beast, like that just can do nothing wrong. They're just so amazing. So it's so cool to watch that. So has your main way building this business been social media, like Instagram and Facebook?
Okay, that's okay. There's a funny story with that, because I did not know, I never posted on Instagram. I was barely on Facebook, because actually after I separated from my ex-husband, I fell off the grid for like 10 years. I didn't want to be on social media. I didn't want anybody to know me. And I'm someone who's like an extrovert. I'm friends with everybody, love everybody. And I really just got off the grid for so many years. So when Jackie was suggesting, or I saw Twin posting online, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I don't think I can. So what I just started to do was, before the pandemic, for me, the strongest thing was belly to belly. So that's what I did the most in the beginning before I started posting.
So I think there's a lot of people, it's so crazy because, maybe it's our age, like the 40 somethings, we are so much more likely to get out there and do belly to belly than we are social media. And I think it's because we're like, I mean, I don't know about you, but like when I was in high school, social media just started becoming a thing. Like, not even a thing really. Like, it was just computers were coming out and stuff like that. So I think that that's why it's easier. And plus, you've owned so many businesses before that you're used to dealing with people face to face. Like, that's the kind of businesses that you had done, was that face to face thing. What tips would you have for people that are scared to talk to people face to face?
Oh, honestly, talking to people, I think well, in my opinion, I found, the most success from that, just talking to people, but just generally, I think we tend to make things so complicated. We make things so complicated. We're coming in, we think that we need to know everything about everything before we share the products, right? And it's not like that. It's just keeping it simple, looking at whoever is in your life, everybody around you, even people like someone at the grocery store, right? I mean, the cashier, I talk to them all the time. They, when you start going to the same grocery store over and over again, they start telling you stories. They start talking about their life. And that's when, that's the opportunity to tell them like, hey, oh yeah, so you're tired all the time. Oh yeah, have you ever, and guess what? I will not, like, let's say I was going to a grocery store saw the same cashier, for a while, and she started talking to me. What I would do is I would start putting the patch somewhere really visible, like really, really visible on my hand where I'm going to pay for my groceries. And because you have a relationship with her already, you've talked to her, she's told you she's tired and all of that. That's how I spark up conversations with strangers. So
Well, it's just like listening to them, like finding those ways in. And you're very strategic. I mean, if your DFT is right on the top of your hand and you're handing somebody your credit card, they're probably going to be staring at it. Like, what is that thing? So it's just be you. I mean, normal conversations happen all the time. And I think that we just overthink it, like you said. Like, we're just totally getting in our own heads and scaring ourselves. And it's really just conversation like you would have about anything. Like, it doesn't have to be so hard, so difficult. Um, so what do you feel like, as far as like maybe your biggest mistake you made along the way, that besides the fact that you kind of were reinventing the wheel, what biggest mistakes do you think you've had that maybe slowed your growth down, like
um,
not jumping into things or
I think the biggest um, challenge that I've had ever since I started was just not doing things, like not doing things that were uncomfortable, like that group that you have now, Destination to 40K. When I started, there was stuff going on, but I didn't want to learn anything new. I didn't join any of those groups. And I think what challenges I have, okay, well, expecting too much from everybody coming in, like thinking that every single customer was going to become a successful promoter. And I think setting the expectations for everybody super, super high and not actually listening to what is important to that person, for them to become a promoter or whatever. I never listened to them. All I saw was they're going to be like me. I want to go 200K. I want success in this company. And I think the biggest mistake was not loving people where they're at and expecting way too much from everybody.
that's a good one, because I think that sometimes we can push people out of wanting to be in the business at all if we're expecting more from them than they want. You know what I mean? Like, we have to love people where they're at. That is so good. So when you sign up a new promoter, walk me through kind of your process on what you do with that person to hopefully help them VIP. But I mean, if not, not everybody VIPs. We get this. But what are those things you do with that new promoter to help them be as successful as they can be during that like first 2 weeks to a month?
Okay, that's funny, Jack. I'll talk about that later, Jackie. But the first thing that I do when I onboard a new promoter is I always see it, whether they want to do this for free thrive, or they want to do it for the vacations or the car or for the money or for the time frame, whatever it is. I see it long term. But so having said that, when you see something long term, like I see myself doing this for the next 10, 20, 30 years, they're going to be my family. So why not start when I have that welcome call with them, get to know them. We don't talk about Thrive. We start to get to know each other. And I bring them on, like everybody calls me Mama Lynn. Like I bring everybody on like they're my kids, they're my sisters, they're just my family. So that's how our team is so strong, is that if it's your brother, your kids, or your family, you treat them differently, right? You treat them, they're not strangers. And I think by doing that and them coming on like that, that's how we start. Yes.
So do you like I first of all, I mean, I think that's why you guys have one of the most solid teams I've ever seen in 12 years. It's because of the family and the community that you guys create. It is so huge, and it is the glue. It is the glue. Like, I can't express to every single person on here how much that is the glue. Like, when you get to be over such a large organization, you get to see the teams that are working and the ones that aren't working so well and what they're doing differently. And the biggest growing teams under me are close knit. I mean, it is so much more than just Lavelle. It is life. They do life together for real. And it's not so much like, okay, well, if you're not producing, or if you don't go, 4K your first month, then you're just not on my radar. You guys don't work that way. Like, what you guys love everyone. They're all family. They all feel a part of this, whether they're just thriving for free or whether they are going nuts and working their business. So I think that that is such a huge um thing that everybody needs to keep in mind when they're growing their businesses is you've got to make it personal. You know what I mean? If people didn't want to get personal, they could just go open a normal business, or they could just go, go work for a boss somewhere. You've got to make it personal. Um, and in that first 2 weeks, like, are there certain things that you do to like get their business going? Like, do you
Um,
guys
yes,
say
yes.
post
Okay.
this or do that or do this?
So I say this all the time, but we are incredibly lucky, and I tell everybody coming on that Jackie, like I'm going to give her all the credit. She has really set up a system that is so duplicatable, so easy. We're everybody's learning and growing the same way. And with the VIP, even Lena has a VIP training, but we have something set in place where there's so many resources that we can plug our new leaders in. And for the first 2 weeks, that's what we're doing. We purely just tell them, 2 customers, 2 promoters, get people on Thrive, and that's just really how we do it.
And I think it's because you guys keep it so simple. Like you're not clogging it up with a bunch of stuff. It's just, let's keep the main thing the main thing. So what are your, like, I think one of the things that a lot of people want to know is like, what does your day look like? Like, what are your income producing activities that no matter what, you do it every single day and you think everybody should do it every single day?
Okay, something you guys need to know. Well, since Thriving, I am an early riser. Like I wake up between 4 and 4:30 every single day. Um, my day is jam packed. Okay, so I have a teenager, 14. I have the 6-year-old. So what my day looks like is so when anyone really says that when I hear someone say that they're busy, I'm like, don't I'm the one person that you can't say that to, because I have so much going on. I have I hit the gym, but while I'm at the gym, I'm always listening to something. So we have power hours, and then we have fire hour with Sean and Crystal. So on those days, my personal development comes from power hour. Before I leave to go to the gym at 5 o'clock, that's when I'm going on social media. I'm commenting on on Instagram, on Facebook, and then I listen to my income producing activities. Then I hit the gym, and when I'm hitting the gym, that's when I'm listening to something. If there is no power hour, I'm always plugging into something audible of some sort, something personal for personal development or business. Just plugging myself into that instead of listening to music or watching something while I'm working out. And when I'm finished the gym, I'm going home, packing lunches, getting them off to school. When I get home around 9 or 10, that's when I go back to all of my messages, seeing who's messaged me, if anybody's responded to any of my polls, things like that.
So I want to know also, like, I feel like when we're looking at like our day and what we're doing, a lot of people kind of fall into busy work. You know what I mean? Like they'll listen to 10 Zooms today, but they're not doing and applying the stuff that they need to be doing, like the actual things that are going to grow your business, like, building relationships, adding new people, talking to people while you're out and about. Those are the things that are going to grow your business, not like listening to 50 Zooms. However, I know how important self development is. And I was just curious, you've owned so many businesses, like you said, like a ton of them. What is the difference for you, the benefits of being part of Lavelle and owning a business like Lavelle versus all of those other businesses that you've done?
Okay. I am going to, if you guys ever thought about opening a business and number one, investing a whole ton of money into these businesses and then not really understanding that it's going to take 3 to 5 years to get your return on investment. That's one thing about having these businesses. Another thing is that you are going to have to be involved in these businesses, right? And it is going to take, you know, working until 2 a.m., doing 14 to 16 hours a day. And how Lavelle has changed for me, and I always call it my unicorn business, right? Because I can take my kids to school. It's the simplest things, you guys. Yesterday, my daughter was sick. When my older daughter was the same age as Alyssa, when she got sick, you guys, I had to send her to school because I couldn't find a babysitter. I had to go to work. I couldn't take her to the salon. Or actually there would be times where I'd set up a little, like a little chair inside my salon in the laundry room for her to sit for the entire day. And so how this business has changed, and I wish I would have found it a lot sooner, is time freedom. It's huge for me. It's huge for me that I could pick them up from school, or my daughter will call me and she'll be like, hey, mommy, I have a hole in my leggings, you know, can you come? And I remember growing up, I don't know about you guys, but my parents worked so much that if I called them and told them, you know, like I got my period during the day and it stained my pants, you know what my mom would say? Take your sweater and just wrap it around your waist and then make it back home, because there's no way in hell that someone's going, like my mom could take off work and come home and do that. So the huge thing for me was time freedom, for sure. Everything else is a bonus, you guys, like the money, the cars, all of that is all extra, it's bonus. But every single day, you guys, I am reminded how fortunate I am to be able to pick them up from school, drive them home, go on field trips, be that my older one plays sports, be at every single game, right? That's what I have found that changed my life with Lavelle.
Yeah, I don't think people understand what goes into, I mean, the money alone to start a traditional business, and the fact that you don't make money forever. Like sometimes, and if that business even succeeds, you know, and coming into Lavelle, people can make money right away. Like even if it's a little bit and putting gas in their car or something, like that's so huge. And I also think, like when you own those other businesses, were there times where the business is really good and then sometimes things are really slow? Like compare it to, because I think a lot of people freak out in Lavelle when, you know, they come in and maybe everything's great and then they hit those roadblocks like, oh my gosh, people are quitting and business isn't that great for me and I can't really sign a customer right now. And people start to like really lose their mind and they think that, you know, oh gosh, what's happening? And what they don't really get is all businesses are like that. And you owned a lot of them. So speak on that a little bit.
Okay, so with any business, you guys, it's going to take time. Like my parents, everybody sees their success today, and 30 years in the restaurant industry, they didn't see the first years where, when I was growing up, we did not have food in our fridge. My parents had to take the money from our home to pay for the rent and overhead of these businesses, right? And guess what? I did the same thing. All of these businesses that I had. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about them. I've had an online store. I've made dumplings, and this was just recent actually. That was one business where I was like standing on my feet for 14 or 16 hours a day. That's one other business, but the salon will be a really, really perfect example about the ups and downs of a business, right? Because it's seasonal. It is seasonal because in the summer you're so busy. People are getting married. Everybody's getting pedicures. It's busy. But guess what the downtime is? The downtime is in the winter time. Not around Christmas time. Christmas time it gets busy, but when kids are going back to school and the months from September to November, it's not busy. people are not wanting to go get a pedicure, or when back to school comes around, people are saving money for their kids. Getting their nails done is not a priority. So the ups and downs of that, the salon is a really, really good example. Yes, overhead extremely high. I was at one point, I was struggling in the winter to pay $10,000 in overhead and to pay my employees. And by the end of it, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I left with some unpaid employees because that's how hard it was. And I'm going to bring it back to something I heard from you, Lisa. Choose your hard. Like, we heard this right in the beginning of when we hopped onto these Zooms, but that is hard, you guys. $10,000 a month, not knowing where you're going to get this to pay for your business, to pay for your employees, to pay for yourself. That's hard. What we're doing here is not hard. If you keep it simple, it's just being consistent and sticking and staying, and really believing it is going to happen. So yes.
I love that. You have to choose your heart. And when you think about what we do here, it's going to have its ups and downs. I mean, we're all going to have times where we're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then sometimes it's like, okay, where is everybody? Like, oh, I can't sign a customer. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to have those ups and downs. But every day, even in your nail salon, when it was slow, you showed up. You put your open sign on, and whether one customer came in or none or 50, it didn't matter. You showed up every day, because what would happen if you didn't? Like, people would think your salon was closed or you weren't dependable, or and you have to do the same thing with your Lavelle business. Like, and you have to prepare, because I'm sure you knew, okay, these are slow months, so I need to prepare money wise and and save, and know, okay, these are slow times, so I need to save up in my good times so that I can get through those slow times. Working the Lavelle business, and I'm sure you can vouch for this, is no different than a real business. Like, I hate saying real because this is a real business, but a traditional business, it's the same thing. Like, you have to work it and be consistent just as hard, right? Except it's so much easier. But you have to be, you have to have that dream in your heart and be consistent and know that it takes time, and have the patience and the consistency more than anything else, and show up every day no matter what's happening. So you touched on self-development a little bit, but what are some of the things that you do for self-development? Do you have any like tips for anybody, or anything that you would recommend that they do daily?
Yes. So as in for self-development, every day it looks different to me. In the beginning, when I started the self-development journey, when I started with Thrive, was just learning to be confident in myself, learning to be confident in our products, because it does work. But mainly, I would listen to books. I exercised. What else would I do for self-development? Lots of things. I can't think of it all now because every day it looks different. There are days where a book's not going to do it for me. A book's not going to do it. I can listen to books all day long. I can hop on a Zoom and not get inspired. Sometimes what it really just takes is I'm really big on old school music. So like the 80s and 90s, right? The really cool jams that oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Like the music that really just gets, sets you on fire. Maybe those years where, I was at the club and I listened to these songs. That's all sometimes that it really takes 30 minutes of listening to music that inspires me. But mainly every single day I'm listening to something. So I've given up, movies and shows and all of that for books. But I'm not one that can read it, you guys. I can't pick up a book and read it like that. Because I'm someone who is a crazy multitasker. I do a million things in one day, and I always have something plugged in my ear.
Yeah, I just think you need to find what works for you. You know what I mean? And take that time, because if you don't, you'll go crazy. Like, you have to take that time. So we are coming up. We've only got about 4 minutes left. So is there anything that's on your heart that you want to share with everybody on here before you get off? Anything that's like maybe some words of encouragement for people, whether they've been in, you know, a month and it isn't taken off for them yet. Cause I know right out of the gate, it wasn't easy for you. Like it didn't happen right out of the gate. Or even for people that have been in 4 or 5 years and they're like, I'm stuck. Like, what's happening? Any tips or advice?
Okay, I always tell people to ask themselves, right? If we got out of school, we got a job at I don't know, let's say a bank, and you went in there. After a month, do you guys have the intention of becoming like a branch manager of that bank, or becoming some high level investment banker right off the bat? You don't. You have you have to really let yourself and be honest with yourself. This is something that it's not a quick rich type of thing. You know, it's going to take some time for you to build trust in people. And I want to share something really quick too. Is, did you guys know, because I had the 10 businesses that not everyone knows if you know they failed or they were successful. People didn't trust me, you guys. People didn't trust me. Can you imagine, like, what is she going to do today? Yesterday she was selling meat. The other day she has a tanning salon. Now she's selling Thrive. Like, you know, you guys have to know that building trust, you know, with your audience is key. Building those relationships with them. So it's going to take some time. You have to really look at yourself and really stick and stay, be consistent, show up every single day. That's all I can say, really.
No, that's it. I mean, like I couldn't have ended it any better. It's be consistent, show up, and know that, you know, it's not always going to be easy, but it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be so worth it. And getting on here every week and hearing stories like yours makes it kind of just validifies to me every single week that we are in the right place at the right time with the right company, the right people. And all we have to do is just put in the time, put in the work. You know, if you're not where you want to be yet, it's most likely that you just haven't given enough time and enough consistency. But your time will come as long as you don't give up and you believe. You have to have that belief level in yourself and in what we're doing here in order to grow for sure. Well, oh my gosh, Lynn, thank you. Your
Thank you for
story is
having me,
amazing.
and I can't wait to see you guys in Vegas and Punta Cana.
I know, I'm so excited. Vegas, you guys, literally 2 weeks away. Cannot wait. And honestly, it's so many exciting things. I mean, we've got the detox coming. We know that. Jason also gave some hints that we're having some other things happen before the end of the year. You know, Lavelle is always giving us the things. They give us all the things. They're giving us the tools. All we have to do is take what they give us and let the world know what we have. You know, open your mouth, share. Don't be quiet, because if people don't know what you have and don't know what you're doing, you're not giving them the opportunity, the option to join you, right? If it's changing your life, don't be selfish and not share it with the world. It could be, you know, that person you're at the grocery store next to that needs this so bad. They need it so bad, and it's just you wearing your patch in the right place so they can see it. That could be everything. So you guys, it is Tuesday. We just got paid right now, this second. So grateful every single Tuesday. Don't forget your payday post. Those posts are so powerful for somebody to see the differences, even if it's gas in your tank, food in your fridge for the week, paying an electric bill, whatever Thrive is doing for you currently, even if it's just you getting free products. That's huge, guys. There's people out there that need to feel better, and they would love to do it for free. So don't forget to share what this company is doing for you. And Lynn, thank you so much again. I appreciate
For
it.
having me, Lisa. Thank
Eh,
you.
You're welcome. And thank you. Gosh, thank you so much. So you guys, I'm looking for 80Ks and 200Ks that want to share their story on this Zoom. I need to fill out my schedule for the rest of the year. So if you are interested, we want to hear your story. We want to hear your tips. If you could message me, that would be freaking incredible. I'd love to get you on the schedule before the end of the year. If I've never interviewed you before, or if it's been a long time since I've interviewed you, maybe a year or more, I would love to get you on the schedule. If you guys could message me, that would help me out so much. I promise you, somebody needs to hear your story. You may think that it's not that special, it's not that great. Listen, we all have a story that someone else is going to be impacted by. And every single week when we do these Zooms, I get messages like, oh my God, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Like that person, I related to them so much, or that one tip, that's going to change everything for me. So please be vulnerable, step up. And I definitely want to see you guys share your story on this Zoom. So message me if you're 80K or 200K, and let me know if you're down. Thanks again, Lynn. Thanks again, you guys, for showing up every single Tuesday and making this Zoom so amazing. I love it. I hope you guys do just as much as I do. And happy payday, everybody. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday, same time, same place, same link every single week. So save it in your phone and set your alarms for 12 noon Eastern on Tuesdays. Bye, guys. Have a good one.